for a rainy day. I've done that for 4 decades of my life. So I lived 80% of my salary, and I was never ever in debt. But as a businessman, that's how I also look at it. So it's different there. Your input is not always the same every month like a salary is. But there are seasons where there are peaks, and there are seasons there are non-peaks. And once you recognize that flow, then you become very, very careful in terms of how you spend money.
Mr. Nair, I'll add to your point. When before you start a business or before we make a project report, we know that the expenses is what is happening every month in our hand. But what is the income is not in our hand. So what if the moment you saw second month something is happening good, suddenly you escalate your expenses. So you say, okay, next 1 year I'll spend about 5 lakhs per month. My whatever maybe I'll spend 60 lakhs rupees. So for third, fourth month the business slightly going up. You'll increase your manpower, you go to a flashy office, you buy a Mercedes car. So definitely your expenses will go up. You have to see that my expenses is under my control. Income is not in my control. Tomorrow there may be earthquake, tomorrow there may be fire, today we are in the event, there may be ceiling may fall down. We don't know that what is happening.
That's right, that's right.
So we have to control our expenses because that is in our hand. How much I'll spend this month, it's in my hand. Either I take 10 people or 15 people, or I come by a Uber car, Ola car, Mercedes car, that is in my hand. But tomorrow my marketing manager say I'll sell 10 products or I'll be doing 20 lakhs turnover this month. That is, if he doesn't do 20 lakhs, I'm not going to cut his neck. But after all, I have to spend money. So we have to make sure that expenses should be under our control because that we can control it. We cannot control the output. That's what my point. Let us not escalate expenses thinking I may do more. So like madam was saying, housing.com. You were telling, no? How much advertisement they spent? The moment they got money, everywhere, every corner, every television, media, everywhere, housing.com. What is the product? They give rent. They will be like agent, they will be giving rent out to the houses, etc. That's what everywhere. They think, okay, I got 200 crore funding this year, next year I'll get 400 crore, that's why let me spend to get more. We should know how to get a customer, repeat a customer, the same, whatever I'm spending today, same customer will come in 3 times in 3 years or so. That's what my point. Thank you.
So I would like to add a point. Uber still makes losses. Ola still makes losses. What is that is important is the revenue generation should be there. Housing.com, people investor didn't have a trust on it. They didn't continue to invest. But in Uber, it makes losses and still keeping losses. But people keep investing because revenue generation is there. So whatever money you spend it goes into what? Whether it is an investment, it's a long-term, any capital expenditure, or it is going to generate revenue or a cash flow. For a startup, I would, though I use a word small, at your level, you cannot look at going to RNR or Tata or Mohandas Pai for an investment. If the innovative for a startup to be successful, only 3 simple rules. The concept should be innovative. It should be scalable. Scalable in the sense it should go beyond. Today, if you make 100 rupees, tomorrow it should be 1 crore in the near future. And profitability. Not today, but tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 1 year. These are the 3 simple things and exit option. Today, if I put my money, how I will come out of your business. If these 4 things are clear, a startup can be invested upon.
And to add on, you should have the basic financial acumen. When I say financial acumen, like for example, I was talking to an entrepreneur. They had spent huge amount on marketing costs, which is fine. But when the orders came, the product wasn't ready. So, all the marketing costs, yes, goes a waste. Similarly, another instance, again, I was talking to an entrepreneur and one of their customers had placed some, let's say 10 units of the product, whatever. They said the product is very good. I'm likely to, I want probably 100 more. And then, they got so excited, they manufactured everything, but the purchase order never came. So, unless you have something in writing, don't take it up because only if it's written and, if it's signed, then for sure it's coming. You must be planned like mentally to do it. But all your costs then go down the drain. And this was a customized product. So, the entire thing went away. So, use the basic financial acumen, protect yourself and mitigate your risks.
Actually, bang on. Because this is the how many of you are salespersons here, actually going to the field and have done the market study? And I'm talking about women entrepreneurs. Actually going to the field and finding out, because when you wanted to know the product and the demand, please step out and get your hand dirty.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you can't. Sitting at home, technology is so well. No, it gives you so much of luxury. But unless and until you know, you get your hands dirty, you will not feel the pinch of it. You will not be able to plan it well in advance. I have a similar problem in my, because of late, yes please. Of late I realized it as soon as I wanted to do 5,000 chef courts per annum. That's my goal. I wanted to do that. That's my goal. I have kept it as an ambition. But without an advance, today I'm not going. I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it because I keep hearing people asking me, Sudha, just deliver 30 quotes, just deliver 20 quotes. I had this enough. Put your foot down and say, because you're building your credibility there, this is what my company processes. Don't put Sudha as a person, put your company name as a person. My management will not accept it. Without advance, my management is not going to take it. Without advance, without purchase orders and advance, purchase orders do get cancelled. How many of you have faced it?
Yes.
Purchase orders do get cancelled. Without an advance, don't take it. Hardcore reality. When you get onto the market, you are so excited that you get 5,000 units, 1,000 units, 100 units. We are very magically, improved by the numbers. But unless and until, because the customer has a commitment and for giving you the advance, he also obeys it. And until and unless you get an advance, don't get into it at all. And before that, you plan your production. Plan your production for the month, for the quarter, for the annum or whatever it is. Plan it well so that you plan your budgets and get the customers according. For 5,000 chef courts, how many chefs I have to meet, how many hotels I have to meet, how many fabric I have to purchase. Everything, plan it so well that you don't get your hands burnt.
You see, I'd like to just add something to this, very, very critical. Through my experience of hand-holding various organizations and SMEs, many SMEs come to me when they've crashed. I don't take it on because they can't afford me. Two things are very important when you're a woman entrepreneur. One is for women entrepreneurs. Huh? I'm not talking entrepreneur general, but since this is a women entrepreneur summit, I'm saying women entrepreneurs. One is, don't assume you know how to take your product to the market. Sales, you would figure it, Sudha, is a total different ballgame altogether. It's a total different ballgame. It needs talent. Sales is a highly planned activity. It is not just taking a product through the internet or directly on the table of a client and saying, why didn't you buy it? It's a total different breed of people that are required. A lot of startups, when they get funds, they themselves try to take initial product market. Then when the funds come in, they sit in the long, huge armchairs, with towels here and towels here and towels there and towels everywhere, turning into a little movable toilet. And the product's not going anywhere. Because there's so much of funds, they think, no, it'll finally go. The money's still there in the bank. Not realizing that a point is going to come when you're going to start taking loans to pay off the interest on that loan you've already taken. And that's disaster, it's a recipe for disaster. So one thing is very important to understand, invest into a sales team. It's very, very critical. Two, which is very important, keep your eye on your bottom line expenses. That is your savior. Your Excel sheet should become your Bible, your Quran, your holy book, whatever it is, which is for me at 9 o'clock sharp every morning. My day begins with my laptop, it's just that. Because I know, remember, as an entrepreneur, it's not just about making money. It's translating profits to improve lives of people who are bringing that money to you. It's a wonderful existence. It's a wonderful existence. When I see I can afford better medical care for my people, better education for their children, better lifestyles, better existences. That's so much more money, so much more important than making the money. So if you are very, very keeping that passion in mind, let me show you, you'll never walk into a loss. Because it's not just about you and your bank or what you have in it. It's about emancipating people who are with you.
Two other pointers as well I would like to say. Sometimes there'll be a lot of hidden costs. For example, there'll be silent debits from the bank. You need to be watchful. You need to find out what it is. It could even be a mistake by the bank.
Yes.
So please have a watchful eye on stuff like that. And also to maximize your revenue. Like for example, the banks, talking about the banks, I don't know how many entrepreneurs know that there's something called a sweeping facility. So, you know, in the little bit of funds that you have, if you can sweep it onto a deposit and then you can actually earn a bit of interest. So these are small ways to maximize your revenue. I mean, apart from your regular business. And again, if you have, like, for example, you said you had 60 lakhs or you're going to get 60 lakhs. It's not that you're going to use the entire 60 lakhs at one go, right? So, yes. So instead of just leaving it in the bank account, maybe you can look at investing it in liquid funds or ultra short-term funds and then, you know, plan it in such a way that you will need the funds at your disposal, but at the same time, you're also earning an interest out of it. So these are like tips that you can, you know, just apply and get the maximum out of it.
I would like to add a point what Anand was mentioning about the sales and marketing. How many of your insurance industry in here? Any insurance person? Hats off to them. Can I have a big round of applause to them? Because that is such a demotivating industry, I would say.
I don't share the joke I shared on insurance to you last time.
It's such a demotivating. I have been in insurance 3 years, a typically failed insurance agent. But that is where I became very strong. I don't know how to close the sale. And my gurus, my guru is here, actually speaking, Mr. Dev. And he has taught me, like, you know, they've literally brained, and that figure of 10, 5, 3 and 1 is just constantly in my mind. How many of you have 10 new names every day? 10 new names, that's the secret actually for generating revenue. Did you find your 10 new names, 10 new customers? If your handbook is empty without 10 new names every day, there ends your business. You're not there. You're just going out of drain. Just 10 new names. They taught me, like, no, going by the yellow pages. We used to take the yellow pages and start writing down and calling up people. So when you are thinking that your names are not there, I think that's the way. Because we have been taught like that. 10 new names every day, fix up 5 appointments, and it will be like 3 appointments you will go, because one will become either the customer will cancel or you will cancel.